in my early 40s now, which does kind of make me an old man, right? And sometimes leads to those calling me, "You boomer, look at this old man yelling at the clouds," whatever. But it does afford me certain advantages and certain perks. And one of those is the fact that I actually was able to live through the Bulls dynasty of the 90s. I remember it vividly. I got to experience what greatness was all about. Those are memories that I will take with me for the rest of my life and largely have no choice but to, because God knows the Chicago Bulls are bound and determined to never put themselves back in that spot again. How do you know when you have Jerry Reinsdorf as your owner? When you actually have a championship team and he can't wait to fuck it up. That's how you know. When you have a team in the third biggest city in the country, third biggest market in the country, in Chicago, the second city, and you try to treat it as a small market team. Am I talking about the White Sox? Am I talking about the Bulls? Same fucking difference. You know your team is owned by Jerry Reinsdorf. And even when you go back to watching The Last Dance a few years ago, as much as they made Jerry Krause out to be the fucking villain, and in a lot of ways he was, at the end of the day, there was one mother effer sitting at the head of the table that could have made the shit work and refused to do so, and that was Jerry Reinsdorf. So everybody that wants to spit on the memory of Jerry Krause and piss on his grave, I hope you reserved a lot of that energy for Jerry Reinsdorf when he someday finally mercifully kicks the bucket, so that way this team can be past his dumb shit. Because here we are at yet another off-season for the Chicago Bulls, and it's the same old mediocre-ass bullshit. And what's really sad and pathetic about this is, of course, because Chicago fans are so used to openly accepting and having to embrace mediocrity, because that's all they've ever fucking known or really grown up on, there is no push or demand for more or better or greater. There is instead justification, excuse-making, and just dumb dickery trying to defend every fucking move that the Bulls make. And it's pathetic. Just like this goddamn organization is pathetic. Why do I say they're pathetic? Let's take a look at this offseason. After a couple of seasons of being play-in team caliber type of roster, you look at 2021-2022. Okay, excuse me, they were the 6th seed. What did they decide to do? Oh, we're basically going to run it back. Last season, 2022-2023, they were what, the 10th seed? It appears they are ready to do what again? Run it back! Like, could you imagine? Like, you're seeing teams like the Lakers, who got to the Western Conference Finals, and yes, they got swept by the Nuggets, but what are they trying to do? They're trying to keep some of their core like Hachimura and Austin Reeves, and they're trying to bring in other guys. You know, what a novel fucking concept. You're in a spot where you need to try and win it all, and you actually go out there and try to make moves to help position you into that point. That point. And you don't just frickin' run it back. What do the Bulls do? They decide they largely want to fucking run it back. Now you're going to see those fucking excusers and defenders in Bulls Nation point to Javon Carter and say, that's a great signing. And in a bubble, it is a really good signing. The Bulls needed some additional three-point shooting on the perimeter, and Carter is a really damn good three-point shooter, and he can defend. And when you look at the 3-year, what was it, about $18, $20 million contract they gave him, that's a really good deal for a role player. Like, they paid him less than what they should have had to be able to bring him in, especially for a guy that shoots at that clip. So yes, on the surface, that looks like a good signing, until you realize that a team that already lacks size and length on the wings brings in a guy like Javon Carter And he's 6'1"? Oh, that's going to get the fucking job done. At the one position point guard that they've already invested a shit ton of resources in. You haven't even talk about Lonzo Ball and the $20 million they're going to be paying him this upcoming season and not fucking play. You've got Alex Caruso. And of course, we'll get to Coby White in a second. And now you bring in Carter too. Because that's where the NBA is going, right? Yeah. And then of course you've got, before free agency started, they just couldn't help themselves, bid against them fucking selves. They re-signed Vucevic for 3 years and $60 million. And you see some people trying to spin this like this is a really good deal, and they're just fucking dumb. It's not a really good deal because of the fact that you could sign him for that much, knowing that pretty much 90% of these guys, especially if they have any type of name or resume behind them, you're going to have to overpay for them. It stands to reason they overpaid for Vucevic. Was any other team really going to give him 3 years, $60 million? I mean, were they really? There's a reason Vucevic took the fucking deal. Oh, he loves Chicago. What, he loves being fucking mediocre? Maybe the hell he does. I don't know. But of course, the Bulls would run it back with a big man that Donovan doesn't know how to deploy properly. A guy that's up and down as a perimeter shooter, but loves to play on the perimeter more than he fucking should. Oh, he's one of the top 8 or 10 centers in the league. That's like being first place in the Special Olympics. You still know what that means. Right? That ain't saying shit. And all the talk about all the triple doubles that Vucevic gets. Yes, casual. Except when you watch and you see he'll get destroyed by somebody like a Brook Lopez. Vucevic had 17 and 11. Brook Lopez had 33 and 16, you stupid idiots. But I've grown to accept that Bulls fans will justify and defend that mediocrity and not be able to see how ridiculous this is because that's what they're programmed to accept. They're so used to it. It is their comfort zone now, and they stubbornly cling to it and defend it. Just like you're going to see them try to defend and justify giving Coby White 3 years and $40 million. A guy that can do one thing, but if that one thing isn't happening, which it doesn't because he's inconsistent as shit, then he's not worth a damn thing to you. But let's go ahead and devote 10% of the salary cap space to Coby White. Oh, that was a good one. Like, there aren't a ton of guys like him at the NBA that you probably could have gotten for less. Fuck out of here. I mean, think about that. As we stand right now, the Bulls are basically the same roster as last year in terms of their fundamental core, and they've plugged in Javon Carter. Oh, because that's going to make all the difference in the world. They'll go from a 10th seed to maybe a 9th seed. And if we want to get really nuts, the 8th seed. And for those of you that are going to try and sit there and defend it by saying, well, they're going to make a big deal and bring in a James Harden. You want fucking James Harden? What the fuck's wrong with you? For what? Because James Harden is going to solve the problems of the Bulls being 25 years removed from a championship and get them a lot closer to that, right? Yeah, you hear how stupid you sound when you say that? Well, they'll trade DeMar and they'll get a big 4. Okay, then you've just created a different problem. And what fucking guy or guys are they going to get? You see what I'm talking about? Fucking Garpax have put themselves into a spot here. Wait, did I just say Garpax? I mean Acme. Oh wait, what's the fucking difference? They boxed themselves into the corner with this goddamn stupid ass, shitty ass roster construction where you basically have to tear the thing down to the fucking studs, but of course they're too dumb, dick, and stubborn to want to do that. But they also won't sit there and throw more money at the problem, you know, like a big-time organization should. Like you would see the Lakers do. The Celtics traded for Porzingis. The Bulls are sitting there and signing Javon Carter. Because God forbid you actually ever go up into and exceed the luxury tax threshold. Reinsdorf ain't about that life. That's for goddamn sure. Be in a big market with a small market mindset. That's the Jerry Reinsdorf way. Take the money out of the fans' pockets and put it in his fucking own. fuck the roster, fuck rings, fuck championships. And sure, you're going to sit there and hear people talk about, well, maybe they can trade away LaVine and they bring in Lillard. Okay, and then what the fuck are they going to do? They're still going to be mediocre as shit. They either needed to truly go all in this offseason or tear this motherfucker down. And of course, because it's Bulls basketball, they're just going to stay right in the middle with mediocre mindset and drive all of us absolutely fucking insane and waste another year of our lives, because that's what stupid organizations do. And make no mistake about it, the Chicago Bulls are one of the stupidest organizations in the NBA.